Remember all the fun and joy of your favorite game or childhood toy. If only you could feel that way again. Well, you don't have to go back in time, 'cause Nick and friends can help you find long lost treasures you once loved. Let's go hunting nostalgia.
Welcome to Hunting Nostalgia. Today I am way outside of my comfort zone yet again. I am here at a horror convention at the Monroeville Mall in southwestern Pennsylvania at Living Dead Weekend. I know that I'm going to mess that up plenty of times throughout this, so I got to say it again, Living Dead Weekend. And this place, this event is the home of a very, very special announcement. The announcement that they are making Night of the Living Dead 2. This place is absolutely crazy. And what is even crazier, in a great way, are the people here. We have people that are dressed up as zombies and characters. I'd love to actually get a chance to talk to one of them. Oh, well, here we go. Oh my goodness, look at this.
Hi.
Wow, this is amazing.
Why, thank you.
Did you create this?
Indeed.
Oh my gosh, what's your name?
Justice.
Justice. Wow, it's really nice to meet you, Justice.
Nice to meet you
Now,
too.
did you come here for the announcement of the movie, or you just love horror in general?
I just love horror. I grew up with horror movies, and I actually go to Douglas Education Center for special effects makeup.
Wow, so there's a place right here in Pittsburgh that you can go to create stuff like this?
Indeed, yes.
What's it called again?
Douglas Education Center.
Douglas Education Center. Wow, how cool and scary is that? This is so neat. I really appreciate you taking time to stop and talk with me. So you got to tell me, what made you fall in love with the genre of horror? Because I won't lie, it scares the living crap out of me. What is it that makes you love it, or what made you first start to love horror?
Ooh, so the first ever horror movie I watched was Paranormal Activity 3, which scared me so badly.
Really?
Then I stayed away from horror. Then I slowly started to get into horror movies like The Grudge and The Conjuring. I was like, this is actually really fun. The makeup is really fun. Let's try it.
That's neat. That is really neat, because that's what pulled you into the horror, was being able to create something like this.
Indeed.
That is really neat. And I'm telling you right now, there are people dressed up here all around. It's amazing. You have to come to this event. It is awesome. Do you come every single year?
Yes.
Oh
Totally.
my gosh. Well, you got to get down here. Monroeville Mall, southwestern Pennsylvania. How cool is that? Thank you so much.
Of course.
I can't wait to wander around here. I need to find some vintage toys. What do you think, huh?
Yes, go for it.
Come on out and find it all. Monroeville Mall, all of it.
Well, I've made it inside here to the Monroeville Mall for the Living Dead Weekend. This place is absolutely crazy. No, this is not my idea of nostalgia. I'm not a horror guy, but I can understand and I can physically see the appreciation that people have for this movie and this genre in southwestern Pennsylvania. I mean, both Allegheny County and Butler County were featured in the original George A. Romero film, Night of the Living Dead. Look at this place. This place is absolutely insane. And for them to just announce the fact that they're making Night of the Living Dead 2, this place is at an absolute frenzy. You wouldn't believe it. I mean, the stars of the show are here. The stars of the movie are here. The producer, the director. This is absolutely amazing. There are toys here as well. A lot of horror-themed toys, but there's a lot of really, really cool people that I cannot wait to introduce you to today on Hunting Nostalgia. I'm here at the Living Dead Weekend, and I had to snag these three guys. I had to. They just made their big announcement of Night of the Living Dead 2, guys. Oh my gosh, is this exciting. These people here are in a frenzy. This is awesome. Tell us just a little bit about what you do and why you are so excited about this project.
Well, I'm the writer-director. My name's Marcus Slavine, and I'm beyond excited about this project. because I mean, this is a dream project come true.
Oh my gosh, you can tell. These people, I'm telling you right now, it's scary. They are so excited. It's unreal, guys. This is awesome.
Vincent Petrosini. I'm one of the producers of the project, and it's my job to build all the elements and all the assets to give Marcus what he needs to create this world and this universe and the visceral feel that we're really going for. So I'm the assets deliverer.
Wow, this is awesome.
Steve Conca, producer, and I'm making a lot of marketing stuff come together because we want people to know about this. We want people to feel like they're a part of it.
Oh.
Even a lot of the marketing things that we've been doing has been very sort of interactive with the people who have signed up for our newsletter at livingdead2.com, where we actually drop exclusives. For example, we have Jarlath, Lori, and Perry that were announced like prior to today's panel. They were announced online to the subscribers.
Oh! Inside scoop! I am telling you, like I said before, I'm a wrestling fan and I get ridiculous, but this crowd, holy crap. This is absolutely, it's unlike, I'm not a horror guy, so I don't know about this, but I will tell you right now, this is absolutely epic. Thanks guys, thank you all so much. This was awesome, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Let's go hunting nostalgia.
Well, it didn't take long here at the Night of the Living Dead days to find somebody that has something super scary, but super, super awesome. Chris, Chris, you purchased one of the most horrifying houses in the history of film.
Yes, I did.
Dude, tell me a little bit about it.
Buffalo Bill's house, guys, for all the Silence fans out there. Welcome to Buffalo Bill's house. Very soon you're going to be able to book your own overnight stay in one of the most prolific cinematic serial killers of all time, Mr. Buffalo Bill. So they shot the last 25-30 minutes of Silence in this house, all over the interior and exteriors, and we're opening up the doors for fans to come and have their own experience.
Wait. So are you telling me that this is going to be like a bed and breakfast for people at the Silence of the Lambs house?
More on the bed than the breakfast side. We're not getting into the food game, but what we are doing is doing completely private party booking. So when you book at Buffalo Bill's house, you're going to get a key code and you can have a totally private experience. It's you and your party only when you book. It's going to be a rad time. We're building the well back into the basement. We're building Buffalo Bill's workshop of horrors, sewing station, disco ball, dressing mannequins. You dance the goodbye horses.
Are we doing a dance? Oh my
God! Flying over you. It's gonna be all that. So come on down to Buffalo Bill's. If you're sick and demented and you like horror movies, you're my kind of people. So
wow!
Check us out.
Wow. Okay, so this is in Perryopolis, Pennsylvania.
Perryopolis.
Actually,
PA.
Right down the road, you're going to see on a future episode of Hunting Nostalgia, they have a fantastic flea market there.
Yes, they do.
Wow. So I understand the love of horror.
Yes.
But what sparked this idea for you?
I read that it was for sale. I've been going to filming locations my whole life. I love going to filming locations. And today, I said, why not open up one of my own and share the experience with other like-minded fans? So, I said, what the hell, let's do it. And that's what I did. So I bid on it, and very grateful my bid was accepted. And here we are today. So,
dude, that's inspiring.
It's God's honest truth, man.
That is inspiring. Truth, you know what I mean? You see something, you feel like it's unattainable. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to be able to buy something like that from my childhood. You know what I mean?
Listen, you can. You just gotta say what the hell and do it. That's
he
it.
just said that.
You can. What the hell. You can do it. You just gotta say what the hell. And I will like to tell you too, if you are a filmmaker or a stills photographer or anything like that of that nature, we are opening up the house to on-location filming opportunities. So if you have a project in mind and you want to do some shooting in a period correct home, you could certainly do that as well at Buffalo Bill's house. So.
Holy crap, dude, that is really cool.
Yes.
Chris, thank you so much for letting me do this. Any website? Where could they find you?
Yeah, absolutely. Please check us out on our website. It's buffalobillshouse.com. You can see some of our hashtags over there. We're also on Instagram and Facebook at Buffalo Bill's House. TikTok and Twitter is at Buff Bill's House. We're going to be opening up very shortly. We look forward to meeting all the fans that are interested in stopping by.
Wow.
And I think you guys are in for a real treat, for a very immersive experience at a cinematic destination. So stay tuned. We'll see you there.
You got to say it. Come on. I mean,
it rubs the lotion on its skin, or else it gets the hose again.
Wow, only on Hunting Nostalgia and only at Night of the Living Dead days. Thank you so much, man.
Nice
this was awesome.
Thank you, man. It was awesome.
You got to
Good
check
time.
out
Appreciate
Chris.
it. Thank you, Bryce. Have a good show, guys.
I'm Elvira from the Doll Circle, and today's my moment of nostalgia is going to be themed about horror movies. I love spooky things. I love horror movies. I don't know if I love it as much as dolls. I think I love my dolls equally as much as I love horror films. And I always get the same question all the time when I tell people I love spooky things. They're like, what's your favorite scary movie? And then I started laughing because I love the movie Scream. But then also I paused because I'm like, one thing about horror, which I think is a little bit different than most genres in cinema, there can be so many subgenres that really a lot of people don't realize is in horror. For example, like romantic horror, sci-fi horror, you know, comedic horror, you know, a little dark comedy thrown in there, a little, you know, do you want more of like a franchise line? Is like, what's your favorite horror movie franchise? I mean, there's so many different ways to answer that question. So I always kind of laugh because A, when someone says, what's your favorite scary movie? I immediately think of Scream. I mean, come on, icon. And it's funny because that actually is, when it comes to horror movie franchises, is my favorite franchise. I absolutely love Scream. I remember in 1986 sitting down watching it because my family never censored anything from us. Like, we watched horror movies, watched everything. And I remember just sitting there, and within the first 5 minutes, to me, it's terrifying because you don't think about it. You're like, I'm in my house, I'm making some popcorn, and then your phone rings. Now with cell phones, obviously that helps out a lot, but before you didn't have cell phones, so you're just like, hey, maybe it's my friend. And then you don't realize that literally you're in this conversation with a killer and you're about to die 5 minutes later. And it just happens boom, boom, so fast. The pacing was great. One of my favorites, definitely top 10, definitely right up there. I love the movie Scream. So while we go in and talk a little bit more about spooky films, I'm gonna show you some toys, some of my favorite toys, some things that are in my collection. Yeah, as we look at some of my favorite Funko Pops and little mystery minis, I have a variety because I love all subgenres of horror. From sci-fi, which to me definitely classifies as like Alien and like Predator. Like, to me, like, yeah, they're action films and yeah, they're sci-fi, but they're scary. I mean, like, hello, Alien Queen, like, terrifying. Like, Sigourney Weaver, that whole entire movie, like, if I was her, I would be dead the first 5 seconds. I would have been like, oh, giant alien after me? Hold on, I'm terrified. I would have had a heart attack and died because that is so scary. Because to me, outer space is really scary. It's like the big giant unknown. So sci-fi horror, like movies like The Thing and things like that, so good, so terrifying to me. I don't know how people watch Alien over and over again because it literally gives me nightmares all the time. But then there's also funny movies, like for example, like Mars Attacks. I have a little Mars Attacks figure that you're gonna see, and for me it's so comedic, it's so funny, but also there's some really elements of spook in there too. I mean, there really is. I mean, even though you're cracking up laughing at them talking to each other and making their weird noises and their giant little head things, but there's also some like, wow, aliens are coming to attack. Terrifying, super scary. But then we have some of our favorites. You know, we can't forget about our classics. Universal monsters, you know, from Wolfman to Frankenstein, and then going into movies that really made horror stand out in the 80s. For example, like, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy. He's one of my favorite horror icons because he's so witty, he's so funny. When you're watching him, you kind of don't hate him. Not saying that you're rooting for the killer or anything like that, but it's just kind of one of those things where you're like, he seems like a funny guy. He's just enjoying what he's doing. You know, he's a funny guy and he's so witty, he's so glamorous. Maybe he's a drag queen. I don't know. Maybe in another life he would have been. You know, he's just got so much shade and sass that he throws around while also killing teenagers. Interesting take on his hobbies. But and then you have things like Jason, and you have a lot of the psychological horror, where for me, I love psychological horror as well. I feel like it really gets into your head and you start eating away. You're like, what if that happened to me? What would I do? What would I, if people talking to me? Oh my god, what if this spirits? Like, and you really get into it. Movies that can really engulf you and take you in is another really good thing. And I wanted to show you one of my favorite newer pieces of horror memorabilia. I love Monster High. We've talked about Monster High on here on Hunting Nostalgia before with me, and last year Monster High came back and collabed with an artist to do the Shining dolls. Now they also made a Pennywise doll as well, but this one just to me really just, it shows the stand of time. I mean, like, look at The Shining, right? We're talking a film 41 years old and they're mixing it and making dolls out of it. Like, that's awesome. I mean, how many genres of film can you say that really still happens? I mean, yeah, there's comedies that really outlast, and yeah, there's, you know, different things that I can't think of right now because all I'm thinking about is horror films, but they just don't stand the time that horror movies do. I mean, look at the Grady twins. They made them into Monster High dolls last year. Oh, amazing. And the rumors that they're coming out with 2 more horror icons in the Monster High line this year. Mattel, take all my money because I don't know if I can handle it. And I just can't, I can't. And this is the thing with like for example, like The Shining. It really got into your head. It was a movie that got in there and it was so quiet. Like, that was the thing too, the quiet to the films and the eeriness. Like, I mean, come on, it's Stephen King. Like, he is a horror king himself. Like, he knows what he's doing. And that's one thing I love as I wrap all this up of me ranting, because I can talk about horror movies all day long. Spooky things are my favorites, you know? I really just want to put out there that when someone says, hey, let's watch a scary movie, and let's say you're not really into horror films, give it a chance. Because it's not, horror movies not all are about blood and gore. I mean, a lot of them are, but a lot of them are also like get into your head, psychological. Like, if I had to pick a certain like other subgenre, I'd have to say like particularly like Japanese and Korean horror films are very psychologically driven. Again, there's a lot of graphics, there's a lot of blood in a lot of them, but there's a lot of films that really are just slow paced and really get in your head and really, that to me is the scariest thing. When your imagination starts going wild and creating the horror movie within your head versus a lot of films that aren't the best of movies, because there's a lot of horror movies I don't like, where it's just like, boo, yep, that was a scare. Boo! Oh, there's another scare. I'm like, okay, I get it. There's someone behind the door. Like, that to me is not always the scariest part. The scariest part is when you're literally creating your own movie in your head while watching the film. I could talk about this for days. I hope Nick wants to talk more about horror movies, because I have a lot more horror movie stuff to talk about and to show and to rant on about. And if you want to talk to me about horror movies, or if you want to just let me know what your favorite horror movie is, definitely hit me up on Instagram, either at The Doll Circle or at Elvira Taylor, and I will chit chat about horror movies with you. And if I had to pick the scariest thing in the world, above all, would be zombies. I do not like zombies. I mean, I will watch every George Romero movie out there, but man, is that terrifying. So maybe one day I'll go up to Pennsylvania and check out Night of the Living Dead's filming location with Nick, but I'm gonna be real with you, I'm gonna be scared. And I'll hit you up in the next moment of nostalgia. Bye, back to you, Nick.
I ain't got nobody and nobody cares. Yakata-cha, yakata-cha. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. I ran down here at the Living Dead days in Monroeville Mall. I run into my buddy Bob from Time Bomb Toys. You
How's
might.
it going?
It's going good, man. You can get out of there now. I'm sorry. Can you see him? Hey, man.
How's it going, guys?
It's going really good. We had Bob on a past episode called The Twisted Penguin we did with Brian Metzer from the Pittsburgh Penguins. But I just wanted to stop, man. How's it going? How's the show?
It's been great. It's been an awesome crowd, awesome show. I mean, they put on a great show here.
Dude, can you believe how many people are here?
Yeah, it's awesome.
It is absolute. I mean, no, I haven't stumbled across any of my era toys yet, but holy crap, this place is packed, dude.
It's great. Like, I love the Living Dead weekend. It's great fandom. I mean, there's a little bit of everything here, and I just love it.
There really is. Living Dead weekend. I have to remember, Living Dead weekend. I gotta do that to myself.
Yeah.
It helps. Well, hey, man, good luck. I hope you sell 1 million of these masks. How cool is that? Look at this place. Have a good one, man. Thanks.
Awesome. Good seeing you again.
You too, buddy.
See you guys.
In all history, there's never been another hero like him. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
I fight for justice against the evil sheriff of Nottingham.
Robin, with a fateful Azim, defends Sherwood Forest.
Ha ha! I found your hideout! Surrender!
You put the Sherwood Forest playset together.
Little John, greet our visitor. I, Robin.
Figures and playsets sold separately.
Ha! Didn't get me. Come on, Sheriff. We got you right where we want you.
There's only one Prince of Thieves, Robin Hood.
Well, here it is. I knew for a fact that I was going to be able to find some vintage toys here, and I did, okay? So look, I want to tell you just briefly about these guys right here. Kenner, in 1983, ended the Star Wars Return of the Jedi line, but they had a ton of surplus. They had a ton of toys that they needed to reimagine, and they needed to figure out a way to sell those Star Wars toys, the Return of the Jedi toys, in a new form. And what did they do? They came out with Robin Hood. Like Sherwood Forest, it is the Ewok Village. It's the same play set, same exact toy set, and it's awesome. Same thing with the battering ram, the catapult. That was all made for the Ewoks in Star Wars, but they ended up using it for Robin Hood and his merry men. How cool is that? But anyways, I am here at this booth, and I would like to talk to the owner. His name is James, and James has hey, James.
Hey, what's going on?
How are you?
Hey, good to see you, man.
Good to see you. I was very happy to walk by and see some vintage toys.
Right.
But you're both. You're both worlds.
A little bit of everything.
You're horror toys, horror masks, memorabilia, and also vintage toys.
Yes, sir.
Why did this start? What caused you to do this?
Well, I've always been a lover of horror. toys in general, really any kind of movie relation type stuff. I grew up loving movies, still love movies, still watch them all the time.
Me too.
But to ask you, actually answer your question, it started out me just collecting, and then I would collect 2 things, and then when I collected 2 things, I say, okay, well let me get 3, then I could trade with this guy, or sell to this guy, or do this or do that, and then eventually it was like, okay, well these folks are looking for this, I get lucky and find this, or I trade for this, or I buy this, and then I started setting up. Start with it was little small tables, put the small tables out, put it out there, and then it just eventually grew.
So this wasn't your goal when you started collecting stuff. You just did it for fun.
Yes, sir.
See, now that's the point. I hate selling toys, but I'm so thankful for people like you, so you can find vintage toys. Look, Toy Biz X-Men, stuff like that. You can still find these places, these booths, and it's awesome. Do you have somewhere where they can look at your store, maybe online?
Yes. I have a Facebook store.
Store?
It's actually Big Time Toy Enterprises on Facebook.
Big Time Toy Enterprises.
Yes, sir. You go up there, check us out. We actually send packages all over everywhere.
That is really cool.
I mean, we do a lot of other stuff too that we, of course, couldn't set everything up here.
Yeah,
like T-shirts, we got hats.
Wow.
I've even got down to socks, boxers. I got all kinds of crap. So.
And it gives you, there must be an origin. There has to be a starting point where this makes you feel a certain way.
Oh, it does. I get tickled every time we come. I get butterflies, and I've been doing this 20 plus years, part-time, and the last 3 years full-time.
Now, do you remember the time when you realized to yourself, wow, horror is something special for me? It is.
Yeah, oh yeah, I remember that when I snuck into the theater at like 15 years old to watch Friday the 13th.
That's awesome.
The original one, you know what I'm saying? And that's where it started for me, where I was like, you know what, I love this stuff, and it just grew from there.
And you go, and every time, let's say you find something Friday the 13th, you're right back in sneaking under that curtain.
I'm like a little kid right to start with. I'm like, oh shoot, do you see this?
That is so cool. I gotta show them real quick. Yeah. I saw this out of the corner of my eye, and I honestly haven't been able to.
It's taped up. You can get it down.
Look at that.
Here you go, take it.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
It's the actual checklist poster from '84.
Oh my God, I like these paper products, these paper items, they either get destroyed because of how many times that kid unfolded it to scratch out which guy he had. Like, oh, I already got Fisto, might as well scratch him out. This is awesome, and this is hunting nostalgia.
Now you can imagine all the power in the universe. The Masters of the Universe collection. 23 pieces, each sold separately. There's He-Man and these heroic action figures. Skeletor and the Warriors of Evil, and 4 fighting creatures. Castle Grayskull, Point Dread, and the Talonflame. You put them together. And battle machines like the Attack Track, batteries not included. What would you do with all the power in the universe? He-Man, Skeletor, and all other items from the Masters of the Universe collection, each sold separately. From Mattel.
I am having a blast here at the Living Dead Weekend. It is absolutely awesome, but I want to show you something really neat that not everyone may know about. In 1978, they filmed a movie right here in this hallway that leads to the boiler room, Dawn of the Dead. Super, super creepy, but I want you to actually see the hallway where they were barricaded in against the zombies. It's super creepy, but it's really neat. Whoa, what's going on here, guys? Did I interrupt a production meeting?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, a bit. I know this is kind of rude.
I'm sorry.
How did you get
just
there?
me. Well, I was just telling them that this is a very special hallway. I was just creeping around. If you watch Hunting Nostalgia, I creep around everywhere all the time. How's it going, guys?
It's going good.
It
was going pretty good.
It was.
We just did a panel for Night of the Living Dead 2.
I heard there was a big announcement here, huh?
Yes, there was.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about that.
Night of reunited Mr. Jarlath Conroy, Laurie Cordill, and Terry Alexander for the first time in 36 years on screen.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. What made you guys want to do this?
We have the original actors from previous movies. We have some of the original crew from previous movies. So we're putting together a lot of love and affection for those movies into this one giant, massive feat of entertainment.
Well, do you see these people out here?
Yeah.
Do you see them?
Yeah,
They
I see
are
them.
ravenous.
We heard them. It went nuts.
It is unbelievable. I am telling you right now, and I got to explain things as a wrestling fan because I'm scared of this stuff. I'm not gonna lie. I am scared of this stuff. Like, as horrifying as it gets for me is Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein. I've said that a million times. Yeah, right. But I have to explain it in a way of a wrestling fan. This announcement got the what a rush. It got the LOD pop. Boom! It was like the place was on fire. It was absolutely amazing. I can't believe that you guys are doing this. I live right next to Evans City, right next to the cemetery of the original movie. And I would pass it all the time, and I would always tell people from out of town, that's where they filmed Night of the Living Dead. And they're like, I have to see it. You gotta be kidding, you know what I mean? But to me, it's just like an everyday occurrence. But I am absolutely ecstatic. I can't tell you how excited I am.
It's exciting.
I can't thank you enough. I really appreciate it, but I have to do it. People get mad all the time when I do my ridiculousness, my voices. They're coming for you, Barbara.
Spot on.
Cut.
Wow.
They are.
Really?
Awesome. That was great, guys. I am here at a horror convention at the Monroeville Mall in southwestern Pennsylvania at Living Dead Weekend. I know that I'm going to mess that up plenty of times throughout this, so I got to say it again. Living Dead Weekend. It didn't take long here at the Night of the Living Dead days to find somebody down here at the Living Dead Days in Monroeville Mall. I run into my buddy Bob from Time Bomb Toys. Living Dead Weekend. I have to remember, Living Dead Weekend. I gotta do that to myself. It helps.
Living Dead Weekend.
I am having so much fun here at the Living Dead. Keep it rolling.
Marcus Slaybine presents.
I am having an absolute blast here at the Living Dead Days. Only on Hunting Nostalgia and only at Night of the Living Dead Days. I know that I'm going to mess that up plenty of times throughout this, so I got to say it again. Living Dead Weekend.